What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And today, can Arsenal make the top four? We have a look at the season, last season, how it finished, the transfer window, what we've done so far, and why Arsenal take so long to get certain deals done. Don't forget, before we get into this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, keep supporting the channel. We're on the road to 15K. Thanks for all your brilliant support lately, and I will be uploading on a regular basis now. I've had a busy weekend, but now let's get into it. So big up everyone in the comments. Can we make the top four? At the moment, I would say we're not quite there yet. I think we've started the transfer window okay. I think we've hit a little bit of a brick wall at the moment where we need to get a little bit more work done. I think you have to understand how poor we were last season in the Premier League. You know, we finished 8th and we haven't really made a major signing yet this summer. So I still think we've got more work to do to close the gap. You know, I look at Wolves. Wolves spent £40 million on a player over the weekend, a young player. We see other teams getting things done. Yes, Curtis, big up. Can you do a stream with Claude? I'm concerned about him, bro. Football is his life and he made a mistake. Hey, big up. I still speak to Claude occasionally. You know, I think he's busy over on his channel, still putting out content on there. Hopefully he's all right. Big up Curtis from Bangladesh. Appreciate that. People like, subscribe and share. Big up, man. It's free, man. It's the easiest way to support people. We need Partey ASAP. Oh, dear. We all know this, bruv. We'd be looking to get top 6. I mean, let's look at it. Our attack needs to improve. You look at last season, Aubameyang finished 2nd in the Premier League goal-scoring charts. He was fantastic again. If it wasn't for him, where would we have finished? Lacazette, 10 Premier League goals last season is not enough. Lacazette has to improve. He has to step up. He has to be scoring, for me, at least 15 Premier League goals next season, Lacazette. This is a guy that we paid £50 million for. He was a French international. I believe he's had 1 cap for France since joining Arsenal. So Arsenal has not helped him in terms of his international career. So Lacazette needs to improve, and I hope he does, because, you know, I think we could have moved him on this summer, but I think the club will keep him for another year. As you're saying here, keep in mind Lacazette doesn't take pens. It's a good point. He did take penalties at Lyon. You know, you probably give him another 5 goals there from penalties as well. But of course, Aubameyang takes them. I actually thought that Lacazette was a better penalty taker than Aubameyang, but I think since Aubameyang missed the penalty against Tottenham at Wembley, or maybe the Manchester City game at home a couple of years ago, he hasn't missed the penalty for us. So he's now the number 1 penalty taker. Nicolas Pepe on the right, 72 million. I believe he got 6 goals last season. He needs to double that at least for me. So if you can get Aubameyang getting what he's getting, Lacazette getting 6, 7 more, and Pepe getting 6 or 7 more, that's going to give us a chance. I think our front line is all right at the moment. You know, you got Willian will go into there somewhere as well. We've got Saka. But as you're saying here, where's the comment? Pepe will be better. I hope you're right. James, with this midfield, no. I made a tweet yesterday and I said, look, man, if Arsenal don't fix this midfield, we're going to have problems this season. You look at the top 4 teams last season, it's no coincidence they've all got better midfields than us. That was actually a very weak Chelsea side last season. When you think they had Giroud and Tammy Abraham as their striker, people like Zuma and Christensen at the back. They lost Hazard. They had to promote young players. But the thing they had a good midfielder. I think Kovacic was their player of the season. N'Golo Kante, you know, Kante's still a top player. You know, Ross Barkley's half decent. Mount went into the midfield and did well. Gilmour went in there. Our midfield is not good enough, and that is the problem. Now, Granit Xhaka gets a lot of love from Arsenal fans. And I like his attitude in one sense. I think he's very charismatic. I think he's passionate. But is Granit Xhaka a player you can honestly look at and say, go and build your midfield around him? I don't think you can. Now, don't get me wrong. If you played a midfield three and, for example, you got Partey or Aouar and you put them next to Granit Xhaka, maybe you can get away with Xhaka in a three with two top quality players. You look at Liverpool, Henderson and Wijnaldum. They're not amazing footballers, but they're strong as part of a collective. And James Milner and those guys. But, Fabinho is a top CDM. So you can make Xhaka look better with quality around him, but Xhaka and Ceballos in a two, you ain't getting top four with them two in midfield. I'm sorry. I like Dani Ceballos. I think he's a good player. I think he's good on the ball. I think Xhaka's improved under Mikel Arteta. I think the system suits him more. But he is still not a top player. He is an improved player. We are Sugar Donut FC, nothing in the middle. I hear you on that one. Hey, big up Sunny TV Arsenal, man. Go and check out his channel. Lots of content on there as well. Big up Sonny for tuning in. He says, you can build a midfield around Xhaka because he don't move. Oh, God. I don't think he can move, to be fair. He's improved. He has improved under Arteta, but I always say, for me, Xhaka has gone from like a 4 out of 10 under Emery and Wenger, where he was constantly being criticised, to probably a 6 out of 10 under Arteta. He's okay, you can find these types of players all over the place. The club are going to stick with him, and if you put a couple of good players around him, maybe. But you can't build around him. You're forgetting about Ozil. I mean, Mesut Ozil. He's going to stay at the club next season. He fair play to Mesut Ozil, man. When he said, I'm not leaving this club until the contract finishes, he was telling no lies, man. That man's staying there till the last day of that contract. Ivan Gazidis, man, he should be locked up for what he did to Arsenal. Man dropped $350 a week on Ozil, then left and went to AC Milan. That guy, man, he should be Ivan Gazidis, the bold fraud, man. He's got a lot to answer for. Ozil will play cup games. I think he will. A lot of the cup games. And I think probably they'll use him from the bench in games where we're struggling to break them down. Josh said, I'm a United fan. I want to ask you, as an Arsenal supporter, are you worried about Chelsea? You have to be concerned, You have to be concerned if you're an Arsenal fan about what Chelsea are doing. Chelsea finished 4th last season. They had a new manager in Frank Lampard. They lost their best player in Hazard. They had Tammy Abraham up front, if you ever watch any of my content, I do not rate Tammy Abraham. Fair play, he can score goals, but I just don't rate the guy. And they finished 4th in the Premier League. We couldn't finish 4th, and we spent loads of money. We haven't been in the top 4 for 3 years. Chelsea have bought Timo Werner, who I think is going to score a lot of goals for Chelsea. If you've watched this guy play, he's absolute lightning quick. They've bought Ziyech, who was literally desperate to play for Arsenal. For years, he's spoken about Arsenal, wanted to come here. We couldn't get him. I don't think we even wanted to get him. Thiago Silva, I think, will be okay for them for a year because they lack experience at the back. And Havertz, who they've bought for 70 million, 80 million? How can you not be concerned? If we're realistic, Arsenal have signed Willian, who I think is a decent player. He's not going to take us to the next level. He can be a decent player as part of the squad. We've took him on a free from Chelsea, and we've signed Gabriel from Lille, who, let's be totally honest, 3 months, 4 months ago, half of our fan base had never heard of him. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert. I've seen him play a couple of times. I tell you, the only reason I've really seen him play is because I had bets on. I've had bets on in the past on French football where Lille were doing really well last season. And you used to be able to get good odds on Lille winning. So I bet on them a few times and I watched them play. So that's the only reason I've seen this Gabriel a few times. I wasn't really paying close attention to him. But we all pretend we're experts, man, on players. Sonny says Tammy Abraham is better than Lacazette. Oh, man. It's a difficult one. He scores more goals than him at the moment, but It's last chance saloon for Laka, man. He's got to produce this year. Otherwise, we got to start being real and saying that deal has not worked. You know, as much as Lacazette, people say Lacazette's work rate's brilliant. Yeah, your work rate should be brilliant, bruv. You're on 175 grand a week at Arsenal, one of the biggest clubs in English football. If you ain't working hard, then I don't know what. To me, you can't praise footballers for working hard. It doesn't make sense. There's something wrong if you're not working hard. So I don't buy into that one too much. Like, oh, he works hard. You know, I respect the fact he works hard, but you should do, bruv. You know, I think Aubameyang works hard. I think Torreira works hard. I think Saka works hard. They all work hard. It's about the quality. We didn't buy Lacazette for pure work rate or for hold-up play. You know, Giroud had great hold-up play, but we need more from Laka. He's got the ability. You can see when he finishes. He can be a devastating finisher, but to me, he doesn't shoot enough. Callum Wilson over Lacazette. Oh, man. Callum Wilson's actually, I think, a really good signing for Newcastle. £20 million, and I think they're going to get Ryan Fraser as well. Laka had a better midfield behind him at Lyon. Well, I do give him this to his credit. Laka had Fekir in that 10 role. I always thought that Ozil could be that player for him, but what do we do with Mesut Ozil this season? You know, we tried to get him out. The only way you was ever going to get Mesut Ozil out, you were going to have to write him a big check. I mean, I heard that Sanchez got 7.5 million from Man United to leave. You know, take your 7.5 mil. You'll make the rest of your contract up from what Inter Milan are going to pay you, so you won't lose anything. I think Arsenal would have had to do something similar to Ozil, you know, give him 6 or 7 million. His contract is 18 million a season. At this point, it's got about 15 million left. If you go to him and say there's 7 million, you're going to earn the other 8 million in your new contract at another club. That's the only way you may have got him out. So Arsenal can say, oh, we tried to get Mesut Ozil out. You didn't really, man. You tried to leave him out for a few months, and that was never going to be enough. The guy wants cash. Mesut Ozil wants cash. Let's be honest, right? He gives it all this PR about Arsenal. I love the club. If Arsenal would have wrote the big check, he would have signed and walked off. You know, let's face it. Mesut Ozil doesn't seem motivated by football. He doesn't seem unhappy when he's not playing. You know, so come on, man. Arsenal didn't really try and get him out. Problem with Laka is no support. He supplies for Aubameyang and everyone else. He creates space for others, and therefore the trade-off is he takes away space for himself, better midfield, and he'll play well. I do agree that he does do a lot for the team, but he also doesn't do enough to get himself more goals, you know. I see him in a lot of great shooting positions, and he doesn't take them enough of the time. I mean, this comment here, I'm sorry, I do not agree with this. Ozil is the best player we have by a country mile. In what way, bro? Like, are you talking about natural talent? Cool, I'll hear you on that argument. Natural ability and understanding of the game. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. But you talking about right now, to me, you're only as good as the effect you have in your team. How can Ozil be better than Aubameyang? Come on, let's be realistic here, man. Mesut Ozil's a talented player, of course, but come on. Ronnie, I don't know, have you been on the beers this afternoon, bro? I'll let you off. But he ain't better than Aubameyang. Let's keep it real. Big up, Curtis. Do you think if he had to choose, Arteta prefers Aouar over Partey because Xhaka does his job better than Ozil? So you're saying maybe we need the creative player more than the powerhouse. And this is a thing a lot of people are saying, you know, do we actually need Aouar more than Partey? I think we need Partey. Xhaka's going to play. He's going to be one of the main centre mids, whether you agree with it or not. I think if you put a Partey there next to him, you've got a real solid base there. You know, Xhaka is quite strong, and, you know, you put a Partey who's mobile, who's physical next to him. At least we've got a solid base to work from. But this is something I agree with here as well. Money Green says, Willian, I see being the number 10. I agree. I think Willian could be an effective 10 for us. He's got pace. He can shoot. He's good on the turn. I think he'll give us something different. in that 10 role. That's kind of what the modern day 10 is, them little Mesut Ozils, David Silvas, Juan Matas, Christian Eriksen, those kind of 10s are kind of dated now. They don't give you a lot defensively. They're not the quickest, they're not the strongest. They're not great at like long distance shooting. Or Eriksen was quite good actually, but so I think Willian will possibly play that role. Curtis, who besides Aubameyang gets into Chelsea's front six? Kovacic, Kante, Havertz, Pulisic, Werner, Ziyech. It's difficult. Honestly, I can't honestly name another Arsenal player that walks into that. At the moment, Ziyech is you can't say he's better than Pepe in the Premier League, but from what we've seen of him, he's been fantastic. I actually wanted him to come to Arsenal, Ziyech. I was a big fan of him. Hey, Curtis, watcher from Germany. Really love your show. I'm always watching. I think that guy, Lee Gunner, is a Tottenham fan. Oh, man. I think he is Arsenal, isn't he? But, everyone's entitled to their opinion, man. That's the thing. You can't say somebody's wrong because their opinion is different. This is the thing about football. Opinions aren't facts a lot of the time, So, you can have your opinion, someone can have theirs, but you can both be kind of right in your own sort of way. And this is what it is, I think Willian's a good signing for Arsenal short term. But a lot of people aren't happy with that signing. Messi is staying, so Coutinho can go to Arsenal. Well, I don't think Barca have officially announced what's happening with Coutinho yet, but I would still love to get that deal done if we couldn't get Aouar, which I think is difficult. I personally, for me, I don't see Arsenal signing Aouar and Thomas Partey in the same transfer window. I don't see how that happens. How do we get 45 million for Thomas Partey? You got to pay the majority of that deal at once because it's a release clause, and then go and get Aouar from Lyon. Okay, they will take installments, but they want a big chunk of it up front as well. Arsenal are going to have to settle. It's as simple as that. And the bottom tier players at Arsenal, the ones who we all look at and say, we need to sell those guys. We're struggling to get rid of them. A lot of people say, why are we not selling these players? Why are we not selling them? Listen, if you go in your bin right now and get the rubbish out your bin and you put it on the floor, you ain't going to be able to sell much out of that bin. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's what it's like doing with these players. They're rubbish, man. How do you sell? How do you sell Socrates on 90 grand a week? He's what, 31, 32. He hasn't been very good at Arsenal. He was probably past his best even when we bought him. Never mind now. How do you get rid of him? How do you get rid of Kolasinac on 120 grand a week? How do you get rid of him? The only way you get rid of players like that, you have to bite the bullet and pay a little bit of money. You have to say, all right, Schalke, you want Kolasinac back. We'll give him 2 million to supplement the wage that he's going to lose when he signs for Schalke, because they're not going to pay him that. And that's how big clubs move. But we ain't doing that. We're not doing that. And this is why I don't believe that Arsenal behave like a big club. I'm sorry. I don't think we do. Big up, Curtis. Do you believe we're going through a process? And if so, doesn't that take time? Of course, it definitely takes time. It definitely takes time, but you have to make the right steps to make that process work. And at the moment, we're taking very small steps, and we need to be more proactive. Out of all the big clubs last season, we're the team who finished lowest. We finished 8th, so we can't be the most patient and, sit around waiting for things to happen. Look at the way Chelsea are behaving. They finished 4th, but they know, you can't sit still. Lampard knows he can't afford to finish 5th or 6th next season because Abramovich will get rid of him. But we're not acting like that. We should be hammering this transfer window. If you want Socrates out, and Napoli are interested, but it's delayed because, they don't want to pay him 80 grand and they're trying to get him on a free, come to an arrangement. Arsenal may have to take a hit for one summer, you know. Give Socrates 2 million, Kolasinac 2 million. You may have to give Mesut Ozil 6 million. We may have to spend 12, 14 million just getting rid of players. You know, a year ago, we were talking about selling Mkhitaryan for 15 or 20 million to Roma. I believe he went on a free transfer. We got to make up for the mistakes, man. Curtis, in your opinion, who do you think we need more, Aouar or Partey? I think we need Partey, but we need Aouar as well. But I do think Willian can play in that 10 role, if I'm honest. Can you make some people mods? Because everybody is spamming. I personally would love to be one. Oh, yeah, apologies, man. I did say, actually, that I was going to sort out some mods this week. Definitely. I'm looking to stream every day this week. So if you want to be a mod, just tell me. I'll look back at the stream afterwards and I'll get your names in there. I need a few mods. Hey Curtis, you guys finished recording Blood Brothers Digital? Yeah, we finished that. We have finished that. Look out for that. I actually believe there's going to be another Blood Brothers football series towards the end of the year. I think it's going to be like a cup tournament, a quicker version, not like a league. Musa says, I want to be a mod. Hey, big up. Yeah, I'll check it out after, man, definitely. Coutinho over Aouar. If you can get Coutinho on loan, but I think because of Aouar's age and we want to build for the future, but I think Coutinho may be easier to get, just simply because Barca, they need to raise money. Let's have a look. Starting lineup for Fulham. I mean, what's he going to do? Is he going to play 3 at the back? Personally, at Fulham, do you need to play 5 defenders against Fulham? I think you can go there and play 4. I would play Martinez in goal, Ainsley at right back, Saliba and David Luiz. I don't think Gabriel is fully fit yet. Tierney at left back. I would play 4-3-3. I would probably play. I would play Xhaka and Ceballos in the middle. I would play Coutinho. Bloody hell, I think he was signed him already. I'll play Willian in the 10. I'll play Pepe, Aubameyang, Lacazette, front 3. It's a bit harsh on Saka, actually. I would have probably liked to have started him, but we'll bring him off the bench. I just don't see why we have to go to Fulham and play 3 at the back. You know, you're basically playing 5 defenders against a newly promoted team. What do you make of the Griezmann links? I think it's complete nonsense. The fact that Barcelona are trying to get rid of Suarez, you know, I don't see them getting rid of Griezmann as well. I think they're going to keep him. Curtis, would you chuck Gabriel and Saliba straight in or play the patient game? I know I haven't picked them both for this game. That's only because people, from what I've read, is that Gabriel is not fully fit yet. But once them 2 are fully fit, I think you chuck them in at the deep end. You know, what's the point in waiting? You know, the guys we've played previously have not been good enough. We finished 8th. I would rather have 2 young centre-backs learning and build a partnership together, man. Yeah, so play them both. If you play a 3, then yeah, chuck David Luiz in with them in the middle. I don't mind. Let's build for the future. I think your David Luiz, your Pablo Mari, all them guys can play Europa League. And if you do play 3 at the back and League Cup, FA Cup. But I want to see Gabriel and Saliba together. Curtis, who do you think is better, Xhaka or El Neni? I've got to go Xhaka. I'm really not a fan of El Neni. He did play well against Liverpool, but I don't think we should get carried away. I don't think Xhaka is much better, though. I'm being honest. El Neni probably moves the ball quicker, to be honest. But I just think Xhaka has got a little bit more about him. But let me not get carried away. I don't particularly rate any of them. Smith Rowe hopefully gets some game time this season. Yeah, I agree. He had a good loan at Huddersfield. He would have learnt a lot from that. He had a difficult time, not for himself, but you know, Huddersfield were in a relegation battle, and I think this needs to happen more with these young players, man. You know, I look at I look at the likes of Joe Willock now, and I think, they look like they need football. They look like their decision making at times lets down some of our young players because they haven't played enough football. So, Arsenal can get in top four if they sign Partey and Aouar. Without it, they will struggle. Maybe with just Partey, but I doubt it. I mean, as I said before, I really don't see Arsenal signing both of them. I think it's too much money. Apparently, they want 60 million euros for Aouar, 45 million pound or 50 million euros. So you're looking at around 100 million pounds to get those two in. I don't see that happening. The players that we're looking possibly at selling, your likes of your Socrates, your El Nenes, your Kolasinac, you're not going to raise big money on them. I think Arsenal are going to have to sell somebody like, Hector Bellerin or someone like that. Personally, I don't mind selling Hector Bellerin. But for 25 million, no chance. Decore is twice as good as Xhaka. I think 25 million for Decore is a bargain for Everton. I think they've done good business there. Even Allen, who they signed from Napoli, he was being linked with PSG for like 45, 50 million last year, and they've picked him up for 21 million. Since we offered 35 million plus Guendouzi for Aouar, we should offer 35 million up front and 20 million in installments. Yeah, possibly. I mean, they don't seem to want Guendouzi. No one seems to want Guendouzi, actually. So what happens with him? Does he get back integrated into the squad? Stat merchants, they don't always tell the full story. It's true. You get a lot of this nowadays in football, though, don't you? The stats drive everyone's judgment of players and how good they are. But sometimes you just got to go off the eye and simply what you see. We don't need a 10, we need an 8 who can make things happen. Yeah, I agree with that. It's interesting because I saw some quotes from Ceballos saying that he wants to play further forward, which would suggest maybe he wants to play in that number 8 role. He played more like a number 6 almost for us this season. Do you push him a little bit further forward? But then he seems to have this partnership with Granit Xhaka. Don't forget, if you are watching now, over 500 of you watching, big up for all your support. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video. Let me know your thoughts. Can Arsenal get in the top 4? If I'm being honest, the current squad that we've got with the players we've got signed today, I don't think we've got enough to finish in the top 4 at this moment. I think we're probably 2 players short from where we need to be. With Saliba and Gabriel, there is excitement there. I think one of them needs to hit the ground running straight away. I wouldn't expect both of them to just, be brilliant straight away, but I think we need one of them to be really good. And then, with Tierney being fit at the start of the season, you're looking at an almost new back four there. Gabriel, Saliba, all right, Tierney was there last season, but, being fit and ready at the start of the season. And if you go maybe Ainsley Maitland-Niles at right back, or, they'll probably keep Bellerin, but I would personally offload him. Bellerin and Torreira gets you Thomas Partey. That's simple as that, those two. And I think you can afford to let those two go. Curtis, bro, I do understand wages. However, Chelsea about to sell Bakayoko for 33 million. Sheffield United let 8 players, Wolves 5, Brighton 5, Arsenal none. And we knew in January, and Mkhitaryan, which we knew in January, frustrating. I mean, the only thing I can say is the wages, bruv. The wages that we give to some of these bang average players. I mean, Bakayoko has a bit of a reputation. He was highly rated. So even though he went to Chelsea, had a bad year, there were still takers because so many people wanted him before he went to Chelsea. Whereas with us, people aren't going crazy to get these players that we've signed. So if they have a bad season, it's like, mate, you're going to struggle to get rid of him. I would love to know who gave the contracts to some of these players. Again, Ivan Gazidis, the bold fraud. Big up Camper Beat with a super chat. He said, David Graham and Craig Armstrong are prime examples of stats don't mean anything. If you can play, you can play, and they could play and were effective. You've just got to go off what you see now. Sometimes I go to games or watch a game on the TV and I'll go, oh, that guy was poor today. And they'll go, yeah, but this stat said, he covered that much ground or he completed that many passes. And you're like, bruv, like, it doesn't necessarily mean he had a good game. Because you're a stat man, I'm sorry, but Bellerin over Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I disagree, honestly. I think Ainsley's got way more potential at right back. I will give Bellerin his due. He has been better in the last few games. And this is, we buy low and bump up their wages, 100%. We're buying players who sometimes you've hardly heard of them before they've even come to the club. And you're like, how's this guy getting 80, 90 grand a week? Like, how is Socrates getting 85 grand a week out of Arsenal? Dortmund were throwing him away. They didn't want to give him a contract. They knew he was past his best. We're giving him 85 grand for like 3 or 4 year deal. Big up 1-1. Hit the like button, everyone. I appreciate that, man. And subscribe to the channel. Now, this here, right? This here. I've been having a lot of talks with people over the last few days. People saying, why has Aubameyang not signed the contract yet? And I believe, is Aubameyang delaying Arsenal to see what happens at Barcelona? Now, Barcelona came in for Aubameyang in January. They needed a striker. They ended up signing Martin Braithwaite from a team over there in La Liga. When Luis Suarez was injured, they wanted to take Aubameyang on loan till the end of the season and then buy him for 50 million euros, I believe. Arsenal rejected it. Now, was he waiting? Are Barcelona saying to Aubameyang, don't sign that contract yet? Because one, they wanted to see what was happening with Messi. Messi is now staying. If you read everything in the news, Luis Suarez could be on his way to Juventus, right? So they might need an out-and-out striker next season. Maybe Griezmann plays just off a striker. Are Barcelona looking at it going, they wanted Lautaro Martinez from Inter Milan. He's not going because Barcelona can't afford his release clause. I think it's 90 million. Are they looking at it going, go and get Aubameyang on the cheap if Suarez leaves? Because Aubameyang would score goals at Barcelona. I know Barcelona have been linked with Memphis Depay from Lyon. But I just don't buy all this theory that we're just waiting for an announcement. It's done. Everyone you speak to says it's done. It's done. It's done. Now, don't get me wrong. Aubameyang will probably sign, but what is the delay? He's back in training. Everyone I was speaking to was saying, as soon as he comes back to training, couple of days, they'll sort out the announcement video, pen to paper, it will be done. And now look. Still no announcement. The season starts in 5 days. Why has it not been announced? There has to be a delay, and it has to be from his end. But let's see. Surely they're going to announce that before the season starts. Because if you're Arteta, you don't want to be talking about that in press conferences. I think Aubameyang is waiting for other offers personally. I do. I'm sorry, I do. I honestly do. Big up yourself, Curtis. Hey, respect, Jonathan. Appreciate all you guys watching live, everyone watching afterwards. Keep supporting, keep commenting. Would you take Alexis Sanchez back? No chance. He's past his best now. Don't get me wrong. Alexis, one of my favourite ever Arsenal wingers. But no, I wouldn't bring him back now. Big up, Curtis. What formation do you think we are going to go with next season? I mean, I think we'll vary between the two. I think particularly in the big games, we've proved that this 5 at the back or 3 at the back, however you want to call it, it works against the big teams. We can defend, soak up pressure, hit them on the break. I think against lesser teams, you need to dominate the game more. So that's where I would go back to 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, whatever you want to call it. So I think we'll fluctuate between the two. Don't panic. If Aubameyang goes to Barca, we still have Nketiah. Oh, don't get me started. I don't want to slander Eddie, man. Eddie's Eddie's trying his best, so big up Eddie, man. But Eddie's another one for me who I think could probably go on loan. I think, the loan to Leeds didn't really work. Still, to me, doesn't look ready. Laka will have 20 goals this season. He will come good this time. Listen, bro, I hope you're right because I root for Lacazette. I really like Laka, but it just doesn't seem to be happening. Curtis, prime Perez or Overmars? I was a big fan of Mark Overmars, but he left us quite, I didn't really like the way he left the club. And Perez, was a real hero at Arsenal, man. He's link up with Ashley Cole and Henry on that left-hand side. I gotta go Bobby Perez, man. 620 watching, 150 likes. Smash the like, guys. Big up, Kevin. Appreciate that. Keep liking the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let's have a look. What youngster go out on loan? Smith Rowe and Ketty or Willock? I would send Eddie out on loan, to be honest. Joe Willock is a funny one because I feel like there is a player there, but it's the decision making lets him down, man. Prime De Bruyne or Ozil? Oh. Do you know what? I'll keep it 100. I've got to go Prime De Bruyne because I'm going Prime De Bruyne because he scores goals as well. He scores goals. He takes set pieces. He drives that midfield forward. I think Ozil really relied on people to get the ball to him. I think De Bruyne does a lot of it himself in terms, just gets the ball and drives, makes things happen. I go De Bruyne. But Prime Ozil was a special player, man. De Bruyne, because he turns up in big matches. Hey, big up my bro Akeem in the chat, man. Yes, bro, what's happening? Do you think we can make top 4 this season, by the way? Let me know. With the current squad, I don't think we're quite there. Balogun over Nketiah for me. Oh, Mike went on mute. Apologies. A lot of people rate these players. But it proves when you're trying to get rid of them how good they are or how good they're not, because you can't get rid of them. If other teams want to get rid of players, it seems quite easy for them to get rid of them. If Partey comes Arsenal, we'll have 3 in-game formations to toggle with. 4-3-3, 3-3-1-3, Bielsa's Leeds formation, and 3-4-3. Partey is the sweeping centre-back. Jeez, I've never, ever seen that 3-3-1-3 in my life, bro. Is that what Bielsa plays? I mean, I know he's a bit of a mastermind tactically. Thoughts on Van der Beek? I think he's a good player. I think he'll do all right at United. I'm not sure they definitely needed that kind of midfielder, really. I think with Pogba and Bruno Fernandes, did they need an attacking midfielder? Big up Curtis. Question, where's our transfer kit? It can't be that we are relying on player sales. I think a lot of the problem now is the wage bill. The wage bill is going through the roof. You got to look at the fact that we haven't sold anyone. All right, we got rid of Mkhitaryan. By mutual consent, they cancelled his contract. We've signed Gabriel, 27 million. We've signed Willian on a free. Would have got a good signing on fee out of that. But the wages are going up. I think Gabriel's on 70 grand a week. Willian's on 120. Saliba now, obviously, we're paying his wage because Saint Etienne would have been paying it. So I think the wages are very high. So I don't think it's necessarily we can't afford to buy players. I think the wage structure is too high at the moment. You've also got Ozil's back, still there on 350. They want to give Aubameyang more money to improve his contract to 250. We need a Socrates on 90, a Kolasinac on 120, El Neni on 50, 60. You need those guys off the wage bill. And Mesut Ozil's a big issue because he isn't going. So now we have to reintegrate him into the squad. And how often do you play him? I don't think he'll be a regular, but I think, you have to involve him. He has to play Europa League. You play him in the cup games. You have him on the bench. You bring him on when you're struggling. Big up, bro. Do you prefer to loan Holding or hold on to him? I think they'll be holding on to Holding, if you like. It looks like Arsenal are not keen on letting him go. There were reports on Sky today that Newcastle don't think that deal's going to happen. Havertz is amazing. How good is Havertz? Again, honestly, I can't lie. I haven't seen him play much. Probably 3 or 4 times. 70 odd million. It's a big outlay, but I do think he's a good player. But yeah, in terms of Arsenal, we need to do a little bit more. I feel like, if I see El Neni and Xhaka starting first game of the season, I will not be happy, man. Big up yourself, bro. Do you think we need a left back if we sell Bellerin and Kolasinac? I think with Tierney, you got Saka can play there. Yeah, maybe they would get one because I don't think they necessarily want to play Saka at left back if Tierney was injured. So they may get one, but yeah, Kolasinac needs to go, man. El Neni and Xhaka is a joke. I mean, no disrespect, man. El Neni and Xhaka is like, that is mid-table to, that is a really poor midfield, in my opinion. Honestly, I don't rate that midfield at all. Great content as usual, Kurt. Hey, big up, man. El Neni is the new Hullet. I don't know about that, bruv. I really don't know about that. Arsenal's midfield is a joke 1 week before the first Premier League game. Why have they not done it quicker? Thomas Partey's had that release clause all summer. Why not outlay the money and then deal with the rest afterwards? I'm sure Arsenal can find 45 million, go and get the deal done. Then spend the rest of the window selling players, but make sure we've got the transfers in sorted out. If that deal doesn't happen, I'm telling you, that is a huge opportunity miss. The fact a player of that level who has lifted his level every season at Atletico is willing to leave Atletico Madrid to come to Arsenal. We seem to be getting a free run at him as well, which I can't understand why other clubs aren't in for him. 45 mil is not bad when you look what other people are costing. And we're sitting here messing about. And it's so frustrating. And Arsenal have to get that deal done, in my opinion. Have to. We're short in the midfield. And, let's just hope we get that deal done. Any guesses how the table will finish between Man United, Arsenal, Spurs, Leicester, Wolves? I think we can finish above Leicester and Wolves this season. And Spurs, they haven't really done much. But United, I do think they'll sign a couple more as well. And that leaves us a little short, man. But we need to get business done. I want to see people leaving because I think we're holding up signing players because of the players we need to sell. Arteta will bring the invincible season back. Can you imagine? I wonder if Aubameyang is even saying, look, man, I want to see you signing before I put pen to paper, bro. I need to make sure that this is a team that's seriously moving places. Yeah, Willian and Gabriel and Saliba, that's a good start, but you need to sort that midfielder. I'm scoring the goals, but where's the creative midfielder? Where's the service? Where's the powerhouse in midfield who gives us that power to win the ball back? These are all the questions that need answering. And considering how bad we were in the Prem, we shouldn't have all these questions need answering. What's happening with Guendouzi? You were desperate to sell him. You can't get rid of him. Mesut Ozil, you wanted him out. You can't get rid of him. Socrates, Kolasinac, El Neni, Mustafi, Chambers, Holding, all players you could potentially sell. Bellerin. Why are they all still at the club? Why are 3 or 4 of them not been sold? Why are the board not backing Arteta now? Partey's top target. Go and buy him. Go and get that deal done. Stop messing about. Get him here. Let him settle into the squad. Play the first game of the season. Why wait? Imagine he gets injured. Imagine Juventus Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man United decide Partey fits their squad. All of a sudden, we've lost him and we're signing somebody else who we don't really want. Arsenal have to be more decisive. This is not the year to sit and wait. Go and get your deals done. Go and get your business done. Chelsea have done their business. We got to move big. We're trying to play catch up to these teams. Arsenal have to get moving. I'm going to have to shoot off. Big up everyone for watching this. Over 700 of you watching live. Thank you for tuning in. I will be aiming at doing daily uploads now and daily live streams as we count down the new season. Don't forget, subscribe to Curtis Shaw TV if you haven't already. And, you know, leave your comments. Let me know. Do you think Arsenal will finish in the top 4? What do you think we need to get to finish in that top 4? Who would you like to sell? Who would you like to buy? Give me realistic names. I'll be back tomorrow with more content. You guys have a great Monday. Bless.